Hey guys, my name is Mike and this is MyScapes, and sorry about the wind, but let's make this fast. I want to try to keep you guys from getting callbacks, and you might have got a call recently, maybe sometime you will in the future. Hey, why you just installed a sprinkler system for me? Why is it that when I turn off the valves, the water keeps coming out of the sprinkler head and onto the concrete? Well, I'm going to show you how to bypass that in this video coming up. All right, so this is not a good thing, right? All this water is still running out of that head right there. And it's for a reason. It's because water naturally wants to fall downhill, right? So all those pipes up there are letting the water drain down to the pipes down here. And what will happen is water will end up going all the way down here, and it'll continuously do that every single time they turn off the water. You can stop that, and here's how. These are Hunter heads, Hunter Pros. They're great heads, but not for a slope like this. If you can get a Hunter Pro like this, which does, by the way, in California, there are regulators now that they require on these heads. This is all black right here and then brown on the top. That's how you can tell there's a 40 PSI regulator in there. And California just recently came out with that. So that aside, what you do want to have is a RainBird SAM, okay? So this is a SAM PRS 30. So I had to get 6 of them. So one right there, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. The ones on top are no problem because the water wants to leave that area. And what this will do is it'll also help your heads come back on a little bit faster too, because you don't have to wait for this to fill up and then those heads to pop up. So I'll give you an example of that. As soon as I get all of these heads put on, I'll show you what I'm talking about. All right, so you can tell right now, it's still draining out. All the water up there is still coming out. And for an area right here, it might not be such a bad thing, but what if you have some sort of specialty plant or something over here, like later on in this area over here, and you don't want that to get sopping wet? Well, you probably still need to fix it, even though it is just on the soil here. All right, so now that I made this a muddy mess, it's gonna be kind of a pain in the butt to do. Typically what you would want is for this to be damp, so that way you wouldn't have to worry about this mud falling back down into the head, right? Because what's gonna happen is this is going to fill up with dirt, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and try to unscrew this right now. I'm holding down below, way down below the top of this. I'm trying to keep this top from turning, and I'm turning the whole thing here, okay? So I'm trying to feel, I don't want the threads to come all the way off yet, not yet. And I'm moving this around so that way I can make kind of like an opening, so that way less stuff will fall into the hole there. Let's see if I can get this out without a bunch of debris falling in there. The water's already muddy, so I'm gonna have to clean it out. But let's see what we can do. All right, so not too bad. So there is water coming out of there, which is a good thing, because it's pushing out water instead of letting water in. And we're gonna get that head back on there, try to find where the threads are. And oftentimes, I'd say about 60% of the time, you can find the threads. All right, super simple fix there. I'm going to use these pliers right here. They'll pinch it open for you. So when you squeeze these, it opens, and then it's a reverse of what normal pliers do, right? So I'll be right back. All right, so for demonstration purposes, I want to go ahead and show you that you can take one of these heads. If it's down inside there, you can use your fingers to get underneath the ledge there and pull this up out of the head if you wanted to. But instead, they made these to where you could do this instead. So you open it and it pinches that thing, and you can just turn the head, right? So you just turn that instead of this, right? You just hold this in place, turn the head, and this whole thing will come out just like that. It makes it super simple. All right, so another cool trick. It also will hold this up in place for you, so that way you can screw on a nozzle, okay? So now we can take this off, and we'll leave it like that, because right now we're gonna go turn on the water to flush that out. All right, so I think that's flushed out now. All right, so what's nice about this is it keeps it up above the surface. It keeps it above it, because if sometimes you have heads that are like this that are down inside an area where if you had water running out of it like that, if you had to flush it, water would take the soil right back down into that sprinkler. So therefore, you're flushing it over and over again and not really getting anywhere. So this holding it up like that bypasses the need to have somebody else manning the valve while you're fixing the sprinkler. So it takes a two-person job, makes it a one-person job, and makes it a lot better. And you can see that it is rushing out in there. And as soon as I get this on here, because it's got like a check valve built into it, it's gonna keep it from doing that. Okay, all right, let's get this turned into place. And that thing is secure now. No more leaking, no more worrying about water running down the street, filling that up. And see, it's already carrying all the way over there. All right, so I'm gonna take a walk around just to see if everything's spraying okay. Just make sure there's not too much overspray. And these heads are adjustable, so I can just move them a little bit like that and make them spray exactly the way I want them to. And they're beneficial mostly on yards where you have lots of curves, things like that. For a job like this, I guess it's not absolutely necessary because this is all a straight edge right here. But I like having the flexibility of having these. I know they're a little bit more money, but if you want to get them, they're called a van. And these are 10-foot sprays. And what you really want is a head-to-head coverage, and that's basically what we have here. And so far it looks pretty good. I'm just adjusting, getting some, fine tuning done here. Looks like the pressure is about the same as it was before. And you have to remember that when you're adjusting these heads, you got to remember that the controller actually puts out a little bit less pressure than the valve does. So turning it on at the valve gives you a little bit more pressure than it does turning it on at the controller, okay? So if you're thinking it's close, then you better go turn on the controller if you're thinking you're close on pressure as far as like proper coverage in the yard. All right, so I'm gonna turn these off right now and we're gonna see if it stopped that problem of the water coming off over the sidewalk. All right, there you go, guys. Problem solved. It's not coming out there. You can see it's stopping at these heads now. And I had to go all the way up there because the water, that's at a slope right there as well. So there you go, problem solved. Looking pretty good. Just to give you guys a rundown of this video here, I didn't get a call back from the customer. I just knew that it wasn't done right. I put these sprinklers in and I totally did not think about the fact that this hill right here is gonna cause a problem, okay? So, but because I knew I could fix it, I made sure and, came back over here and fixed it. These heads were like $5 a piece. So I was out another $37, something like that. And then if you guys are interested in getting the tool that I was using, it's made by RainBird. That's like $10, $11. I think it was like $11.47 after taxes. So I'll put it in the description as far as what these heads are, the models, and the tool that I used to install the nozzles, okay? All right, guys, hopefully you guys find this video helpful. And yeah, guys, leave a comment down below. Let me know if you have any troubleshooting ideas. Yeah, let me know. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.